Hey. Oh, God. I don't even know if they'll come back. Anybody coming back? Please come back. Yeah, Cindy, I think we got it fixed, I think. The old wrestler, he called me up and we were kind of working with it. And I got it taken care of, but well, I think I do. It was working. Let's put it that way. It was working. Hopefully it'll work again. I told Wrestler, I said, should I try it again? I said, because I know I done ticked everybody off and they left me. He said, well, they may come back. I said, oh, I don't know. You know, they get frustrated with this. So do I. But anyway, I don't even know how many we had before, but whatever that show was before, I'm canceling it. I mean, I'm going to take it off of YouTube. I'm embarrassed for it to be there. Get the phone. Oh, yep, you're right. Huge group, he says. Hey, there's only 10. I think we had 150 before, didn't we, or something? I don't know. Lord, yeah, let me get the phone number back up here if anybody wants to call. I hope they call. I like talking to them. There's the number. Hold on. Hello?
Well, hello. I have a question for Skip.
Yeah.
I mean, for Sue.
Yeah. Oh, well, she's out in the other room. What do you want?
I just wanted to ask Sue how the hell she puts up with Skip.
I think after 52 years of marriage, it's just all about we just ignore it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
No. See, I don't know what she said, but I'm ignoring it.
Yeah, I can't repeat that on air.
Hey.
Yes.
Tell her to try to imagine what I'm doing right now.
Oh, God. Yeah. She's doing something with her hand. I don't know. But anyhow, can everybody hear us?
I guess so. I mean, nobody's saying we can't hear. Can you guys hear WrestleMania talking? Tell me now, so we don't go too long making fools of ourselves. I'm looking. Yes. KM says yes.
All right, it's working.
So.
All right. Well, I do have to get going.
No, you don't. I know exactly what you're doing. You already told me you're going to go play cards.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I'm at a family gathering.
Yeah, that's what they all say. If you're going to play poker, make sure your wife's your partner, because I just have a sneaky suspicion she cheats.
Oh yeah, she does. She definitely does. All right, man. Hey, you have a good one, and hello everybody in the chat.
Hey, okay. Hey, real quick, because I've had people send me emails and everything because they watched a show or something we've done together. I don't know, where you had said something about retiring by the end of the year. Is that still a go?
Well, I'm going to be talking, and people who are close to retirement who's listening, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
In December, I'm going to be talking to my financial guy.
Okay.
Just to make sure my I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and if everything still works out the way I think it is, I'll be retiring probably in February. So January, I'll be giving my notice. I have to give a 30-day notice.
Have you got everything all arranged up there? All the little things you have to do?
I will. Yes. We're starting. We're looking. We have everything like ready to go.
Okay.
To call the numbers and do all that and sign up for things. Like we're ready to go. We just have to push the buttons. If the financial guy says do it.
Got plenty of money?
That's when I'll find out in December.
That's when you say, well, I don't think it's in your damn business.
Well, I mean, we'll be just like everybody else. We have the budget, but yeah, but as of right now, I think we can do it.
Oh, good. Is Sola Vita still number one on your list?
As of right now, it is. I mean, we're still looking. The villages is not out of the question, but yeah, so far Sola Vita is just like barely above the villages, but we are looking at other places too.
Okay. Well, there's 101 places here, so
There is.
just
There is.
if you watch any of my videos, which I doubt you do,
No, I
the
don't.
on the surrounding areas of the villages, we're just getting impacted by massive apartment complexes. And
Yeah,
there's no slowdown in it either. It's just massive.
yeah. What we want to do, when those active adult communities, because we're still quite active. We want to do, do things.
Yeah, I
So
understand.
that's our focus.
I know when you first come down here, the first 2 years, it's great. You enjoy the warm weather, especially around November, December. You'll feel weird thinking, man, I got shorts on. This ain't right. And then after a couple of years, you'll be calling me up going, you know what? We've been here 2 years, and I think this is the wrong decision because this place is boring.
Maybe, but well, we have family in Central Florida area, which is why we're looking kind of in that area.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
KM is saying you learned to budget. She says she misses the paycheck, but would never trade it.
Well, thank you, Cam. That's and the people I spoke to who are retired,
Mhm.
They said, hey, I wish I would have done it sooner. So in fact, every single person I've talked to said that.
Well,
So
I'm not
I'm
going to
taking
say
that
that
advice.
because since I've been here, I got to tell you, I do sometimes wonder if I shouldn't have kept working for a while.
Ah,
Yeah. But for reason I just said, after a couple of years, you get bored.
well, I'm going to have my new my YouTube life. So I'm going to be focusing on that as well. That will be my job.
Is it?
But it's also fun.
So you're going to come
So-
down here and compete with me?
Absolutely.
Well, that's okay. You'll end up passing me 90 miles an hour because you have a nice personality and I sound like an old shit.
Well, they don't call you grumpy for nothing.
That's
But
right.
that's-
You would
that's a
think
good thing.
they'd figure that out.
I know.
What the hell's the matter with these people?
They just don't know you like I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay.
All right, man. Hey, well, you take it easy, and actually, Luann did holler over. She goes, seriously, she loves you. So you have a good one, and hopefully we'll see you very soon.
All right. Hopefully we'll get to see you guys. Either we're going to come up there, or you're coming down here, or somewhere in the middle. I don't know, but we're going to get around. We just got back from Texas, so as of right now, we're just trying to recuperate a little bit. After a certain age, it takes a while to recuperate.
Well, you're always welcome up here. Just call ahead because we are planning on it.
I got you. We show up knocking on the door. I'm going to be like the Griswolds, knocking on their cousin's door, and he's not home. He's such an asshole.
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, we are planning our summer vacation. Vacations this year. So in that respect, to be honest, to be serious, yeah, you're invited anytime. Just give us a call ahead of time to make sure
yeah, so we can make sure we're not there.
There you go. All right.
All right, man.
All right. Talk to you later, and bye, everybody in the chat.
See ya. Appreciate it.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Well, got that phone call out of the way. Now nobody wants to call in, right? I'm sorry about all that. What the problem was, somebody asked that. I forget who it was. I've been away from this equipment for a long time. A month. I don't seem like a lot, I know, but you'll be surprised what you forget when you get back on something after a month. And it was usually I check a lot of stuff to make sure we're ready to go. And then if we do have a glitch, I'm really kind of at a loss because I don't know what I didn't do. And it's usually something that I didn't do. Every now and then, though, it isn't me. It's a Wi-Fi thing. It could be other stuff. But anyway, while we're doing this, I could hear everybody just fine. And that's what really was, bothering me. I said, why am I hearing everybody? And you guys can't hear them because all I had to do was just plug this thing in. And that's what I've done. And I'm looking at the meters over here and they're all working fine, but you can't hear them. And that just boggled my mind. So when he called, he's got basically the same setup I do. He's got a newer setup. Mine's a little older, but it's the same thing. He said, well, did you check this? That's just, yep. Done all that. I said, but remember, all I done was plug the phone back in. Everything was left the same before I left to go to Texas after that last call-in show. I didn't change anything. But when it isn't working, I'm lost. Well, we went to here, StreamYard. That's where I'm at right now. And I said, I'm going to put this under no listing so nobody can see it. I want to record this with you and see if we can't figure this out. Well, and then I played it back where I could hear it. And my audio right away sounded echoey. My audio should never sound echoey. That means I'm not going through this microphone. I'm going somewhere else. That's why a lot of times when you're setting up or tapping that microphone to make sure I'm using this microphone and not the microphone in the computer. Well, StreamYard, because I was gone for so long, when I turned it on, it didn't go to my original settings to where it always does. And anyway, hold on. Remind me. Keep that thought. Hello.
Hello.
You're on the air. You're live.
Hey, let me mute this. I got to be careful. I'm going to launch a missile here. Hey, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I'm down here in the Villages now. I watch your show. How do I say it? People, there are the folks that have shows that are nothing but fluff.
Yes.
But I'm going to tell you something. My old buddy Skip, he tells it like it is, one way or the other.
And that's the way I'm always going to be. That's the way I was raised. I don't BS a lot of stuff, and I find out that what you're saying is exactly true. I don't get the views on videos and things that I used to do because several reasons. Probably most people don't like to listen to an old man blabble. They like the younger generation, and they get bored with you after a while, and they just move on. But I think a lot of it is because I get a lot of emails that you guys don't see. They criticize about the way I critique things, and I only know one way to do it. If it sucks, it sucks.
Exactly. As I say, my buddy who Skip will puke on your shoes with honesty. That's the way it should be.
I like that. I will puke on your shoes with honesty.
Hey, I got a question for you. With this new high school being built, okay, that's terrific. What are you hearing that's going to happen to all of that? Is that a new high school, or is that a new high school, grade school, middle school they're building down there? And what will happen? Have you heard what's going to happen to this property? I mean, what do I say? Probably, 3 football fields away. I'm in Pimlico. My house backs up to Pimlico. So I'm just like, what are they going to put in there? Maybe a Hooters?
Is it Village's property?
Well, yeah, it's a school. It's at high school.
Well, I know, but I don't mean it's the Village's property. Here's what happens. I know a lot because I had a friend that was a developer up in Indiana, and he was always complaining about this. In order to get a permit to build something, they would hold him ransom. Saying, well, you got to donate 5 acres over here for a school before we'll give you these permits to build them 15 houses. Or if you're going to have over 100,000 residents there, you got to build a high school here for the local residents. And so I don't know if the Villages actually owns that property or it's just called the Villages High School.
Well, I would assume,
Yeah.
You know how that goes too, but it concerns me what's going to happen to that area.
Well, it should concern you because the bigger this place keeps getting, and especially on the outer edges with all the apartment buildings and everything else going on, even at the Villages High School, it hasn't been but 6 months ago, they arrested a guy standing next to the high school selling drugs.
Well, yeah, exactly. And as I say, this is the Villages. We got them all the way from half-ass to ass and a half. I mean, and did you ever see so many $1 million people with $1 million homes? They obviously do not have a mirror in their home because the way they come out sometimes looking, you know what I'm saying?
What was it? A
Just-
month ago, I did it on a news channel where a guy living in $1 million house was arrested for shoplifting.
Yeah, medication and Viagra does goofy things to people.
Right. The Villages has a lot of great things going for it. There's no doubt that it does, or it wouldn't have this many people here. They're selling still 250 new homes every month and 250 pre-owned homes every month. Now, that's just the Villages real estate company. That doesn't count all the other real estate companies selling things here. So they got a lot of great things about it. And if that's all anybody wants to hear, there's 101 YouTube channels out there. And never said that there was nothing great about this place. I've never said that to anybody. It's got a lot of good things going for it. But if you're coming here thinking that this is a gated community, you're in for a big surprise because it's not, and things happen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a community with gates.
That's right.
It's not a gated community.
That's
I
right.
couldn't agree more with you. And, hey, but you'll begin to wonder, there's no place else like it in the world. And it's one of the safest places to be.
It is.
I'm not, hey, one last story and I'm going to let you go. My son is here and one of these exercise nuts,
Yeah.
and he goes out and runs. This morning, he left to run down Belvedere Boulevard. And at the Bonnie Brook mail station, there was about a 6-foot alligator. Oh, it gets better. Right along the sidewalk. So he says, I called 911. And he says, after getting bounced around, he said, they sent the fire department. And the guy from the fire department told him, he said, buddy, if that alligator was alive, he says, you're too damn close to it. And what the fireman said, look over here. He said, either a car run over that alligator or a golf cart run over it. And the guy said, I tend to think a golf cart got it, because he says if a car had killed it on the spot, he said, out you can see where the trail, he said, where this alligator went over here to the side of the road. But as this fireman told him, he says, you're too close. I'm going to tell you that right now. You see another one of these, you don't get this close. And I mean, it was right along the sidewalk.
Yeah, well, April is the males travel in April, getting prepared for mating season here, which is May and June. So right now is the time where the alligators will travel, and they generally travel at night. And they go from pond to pond looking for a female to hang out with.
Well, there's a lot of that going on up at City Fire too.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. But
hey, years ago, City Fire, I know what you're talking about. This is the channel where we can talk about anything. I don't hold back for nothing. Shady Chatty, not Shady Chatty. I'm sorry. I don't want to people get mad at me. City Fire, the one up at Lake Sumter, for the longest time had the nickname as the meat market.
Oh, you are right. And you know what it reminds me of? That Jerry Lee Lewis song, 39 and holding. And most of them are like 69 and holding.
Yeah.
Oh, they'd give $1 million to be 49 again. Oh gosh.
God, what would we all like to do but go back and
hey, one last question for you, and then I'll let you go. How's your bride?
She's fine. She's had her treatments today.
Great.
She was out there in the living room. She's watching. I know she's watching on her phone because she slid me a note under the door here. I'm looking down at it. It says, can't hear caller. That's what we were working on earlier. I don't know if he was on here earlier. We had all kinds of glitches, and we got it fixed out now. So,
hey, you know what? It is what it is, and you just move forward. I tell you, they're the queen of our double wides, but you know what? There are times when we say to ourselves, I know why O.J. Simpson got so mad. But guess what? As my wife says, and I tell you, my wife will say, a ball bat will hit more than just a baseball. So anyway,
yeah.
Hey, Skip, you do a great job, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and I truly mean that. Have a great day, man.
Well, good. I want you to keep watching because I've been experimenting with this live phone call in thing to see how it'd work out. If people call and people show up, I'll keep doing it and I'll put it on the calendar as a regular thing to do. and I'm watching. Like right now, we only got 61 viewers, which really isn't very many, but we'll see how it works out.
Hey, if all 10,000 of them would send you $1 a week, hey, you know, it'd be great.
Well, I don't really care about the money or anything like that. It's just nice. It helps supplement my income a little bit. I got some Patreon members that are loyal. They've been loyal for years. I've got YouTube members that's been loyal for years. And as long as I got my loyal people, I'm good.
You're having a great time. And
Yeah.
that's what's neat. That's what's neat.
Where are you staying? Are you say you're in the villages now?
Yeah. We've got a courtyard villa that backs up to number 8 at Pimlico.
I know where you're at, Yeah. Don't they, trying to think, didn't they have that golf course shut down for something?
Well, they did, but they open it back up. And the saddest part about it is I get to talking to these maintenance guys. The poor guy that's a superintendent or whatever you want to call him, he's got 2 guys that takes care of 3 course, 27 holes. He says, that's all they'll give me. And he says, it's, he says, I swear, I'm not a golfer, but I'm going to tell you, there's not enough money in the world to pay for that entertainment out my back door. I sit there and I watch those people and be like, at least they're active,
Yeah. Well, I've been a golfer for a long time. I still am somewhat. I just don't do it near as much anymore because it's just, it's just physically, it's just harder to do it when you get to a certain age, and, but the big thing about the golf courses here is after the snowbirds play on them hard for 3 months, this is the time of year where they start shutting them down one at a time so they can give them a chance to grow back up.
Just to grow back up.
Yeah, the grass gets, in Florida here, the grass gets beat down so bad it just dies.
Yeah, and I see that. But I mean, out here, they play polo golf where they don't even get out of the golf cart. They play, as I say, baseball golf where they'll throw the ball, or they'll get out of a $30,000 golf cart, $5,000 worth of clubs, and damn near dive in the water for a $3 golf ball. I just and the green here is kind of like a plateau,
Mm-hmm.
and when they put that hole right on the edge of the plateau or even on the angle, I'm telling you, the entertainment, they'll go up the hill and down the hill. Oh my. We had one the other day, it was in the sand trap, and she hit the ball about a foot, it rolled back, and she kept hitting it like she was beating a snake. I mean, and I never usually say anything. And I just go, kill it, baby, kill it. And she just looked at me, and she was good natured. But what I try to do every Memorial Day and every 4th of July, get a couple cases of beer, put a big like sheet thing over the railing and go free beer. And I'll hand out beer on Memorial Day and Labor Day.
Yeah.
Or Memorial Day and 4th of July. You'd be amazed the friends you make.
That's what I used to do on Halloween up north.
Oh, really?
Hell with them little kids. They got enough candy. I'm giving mom and dad a beer.
And yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, someday when you're doing porch sitting, I'm going to find you and drop you by a little thing for the kids.
Well, you got my email. Whenever we're going to do that, you want to drop by, drop me an email, and then what I'll do is if you want to send me your number, I'll send you a text message, or I can email you right back, and I'll just give you the address. You can just zero in.
Okay, that sounds great. Hey, buddy, you're doing a great job, and you provide. It's neat. It's wonderful, and I truly mean that. One last thing, and I'm gonna go. I still remember during the hurricane, Melanie broadcasting live during the entire hurricane. I don't know how many hours she was on live. I'll never forget that. Her doing that.
Yeah, she was a good sport.
Yes.
I remember calling her up one day. I was trying to figure out something to do different on YouTube because it was getting to be so many people basically doing the same things, and I want to do something different. I always want something different. This is something different here, and I'm always looking for something to do. I called her up, I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing a show once a month, just once a month. So I knew she was busy doing her stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to call it. I said, but here's the concept of it. We're just going to go on and we'll figure it out as we go. And I have no idea what we're going to do. And we'll try to have a game or two on there, maybe give away some prizes or something like that. And I don't know how long the show will last, an hour, hour and a half. I don't know. I said, do you want to be part of it? She laughed. She goes, let's see, you don't know what it is, how long it's going to be, what we're going to do, or anything about it, but you want me to be part of it. She says, sounds like fun.
Hell, you were more nervous to ask Sue to marry you than you were that, right?
Yeah, well, when she said she would, after that, I had to start putting my head together. I said, geez, now what do I do here? I don't even know how to go live on YouTube, but I didn't. And I was just trying to figure all this stuff out. So that's why the very first WNL show, you'll never see it on in the file. I put that one away. It's
Oh my gosh.
it's
Oh.
awful. It's awful.
Hey, have they found anything out about the murder over at Linda's place?
Are you talking about them three teenagers? The girls that
Well,
got killed?
No, the older people that broke into that killed the people that Linda moved. Where'd she move? She moved somewhere away from the villages, and
Who did?
and those older it was that retirement community that was gated where somebody got
Oh,
killed.
you mean Deb?
Deb, yeah.
Yeah, they caught the lady. She was in Georgia. As a matter of fact, she was driving the people's car that she killed up there. That's how they really caught her. They brought her back. She was arraigned. She's got no bond. She's in jail. And that's really all I've heard. I don't know when her court date's going to be or whatever, but I can tell you everything that I've read, it don't look good for her. And I know that the retirement community over there, hands down, I don't know what happened, who brought it up, but there was a big investigation over there trying to find out with a completely gated community like that. They caught that girl in there once and they escorted her out, and they want to know how the hell did she get back in here?
Well, yeah.
Well, see, they contract them guards out. They don't work for that retirement company. So I'm here. That guard company's probably going to get sued by somebody.
Big time. I mean, a lot of those guys are either retired cops or retired
Yeah.
wannabe cops.
Yeah.
Wannabes and Barney Fifes with a bullet.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, the thought is back where Deb's house was at, because these people was her next door neighbor. So yeah, so back where Deb's house is at, and we were there, and I did video back there. If you'll look at it, you'll see behind her house, it's basically just a temporary fence that they had put up where they're still working. They're still building. They're still digging holes and stuff. They think she went in that field on the other side, walked all the way across that field to get to that area and just go over that fence, because there is no security back there.
Oh man, was it random or did she know those people?
They say it's random. I mean, that's what I heard on the news. I don't know if it was or wasn't. Why she was in there, I don't know. I guess she was in there to rob somebody. That's the only. I just feel sorry for the whole family to have to deal with that. You know, here they are. They're retired. They went to a place where they thought they felt safe. You know, just to enjoy the rest of their life the best that they could, and then something like that happens.
Oh, you know, I mean, the villages, if it ever goes downhill, I mean, it's easy pickings too. I mean, look at, yeah, well, I don't want to get into that. Never mind.
I will. You know, it's actually, we talk about anything here. They've had house people, a lot of people that clean houses here are people that work for themselves. They don't work for a company, really. A lot of them elderly people here will do part-time jobs like that to earn some extra money. Just know who you're hiring. That's all. Check them out. Because there's so many people that they'll say, well, my diamond ring's missing that my husband gave me 50 years ago. And then they'll trace it back to a pawn shop, and they get their security cameras, and they say, do you recognize this person? And the guy goes, yeah, that's the lady I hired to clean my house. You know, this stuff happens here. I mean, this is not You don't have to worry about that. I don't know how to phrase things myself without sounding negative, but you still have to be aware when you're living here.
And don't leave your keys in the golf
Don't
cart.
leave your keys in the golf cart, people.
Did you see the village's news? And I don't want to hold you here if you don't have any other callers.
Nah, nobody's calling me, so they probably
you
left
see
because we had such a bad glitch. They probably thought, hell with this guy, I'm leaving.
Well, no, it wasn't the village news. It was one of the Facebook pages. Somebody posted, said, do you know anybody that owns this golf cart that is in our garage? We were up at Sawgrass. We were at Sawgrass last night, and this cart is identical to our cart somewhat.
Oh,
And at the end of the night, this was the only cart that was left.
yeah.
And our key worked in their golf cart, so they probably took our golf cart. So people chastise them. Well, you're no better than a thief that took your golf cart. You took their golf cart. And those people are going. And the answer was, well, yeah, we're going to hold it till we get ours back. If not, we're going to claim. I mean, oh man, I'm telling you. I mean,
Well, let me tell you a couple of little stories, just real quick stories. Most golf carts that are reported stolen, they're not stolen. It's that they went out, had drinking, whatever. What happened? The guy gets in the wrong golf cart. Key fits. He takes it home. The other guy comes outside the place. He's looking for his golf cart. He can't find it, and he calls the police. So hey, somebody stole my golf cart. They get to checking around, come to find out that old Elmer down the road down there took the golf cart home because he goes back up to the bar and says, hey, I think I accidentally took the wrong golf cart last night. They get it worked out. Well, another thing is golf clubs. People are always going into the country clubs or whatever saying, somebody stole my putter out of my bag out there. I had a brand new putter. I just paid $600 for. That sounds crazy. I know, but people do that here. $600 for this putter, and somebody stole it. They're mad. Well, there's usually two people per golf cart. That means there's two bags back there. They just put their putter, most of the time, their putter, he put it in the wrong bag. It's in his buddy's bag over there. They get worked out.
Hey, they overdose on their Viagra.
They do.
You just, or they go, well, now here's that $600 putter. It was turned in. You left it lay on the 9th green when you came in. You were so excited you were done. You had to get to breakfast.
God bless some guy about 8 or 9 years ago. I was playing on some golf course. I forget which one. And I was real bad about walking up on the green with two clubs. I always had like a wedge and my putter because I was very seldom ever actually on the green. I was always off on the edge of the green or something. And so I took my wedge and my putter. And I would lay the putter down on the green so I could see it. And then I would take the wedge and chip the ball up there and then lay the wedge down. Then I'd put the ball in. After talking to these guys, there's 4 of you on the green. We're all talking blah, 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 blah. And did you see this? And ha, 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 that was funny. And by the way, you need a beer? I got some out in the golf cart. You put it in the golf cart, you leave. Some guy got his golf cart. Literally, he was behind us. And he chased us all the way to the next hole and said, hey, does this belong to you? He brought my putter because I left it on my wedge. I left my wedge on the edge of the green, and he had to chase me down and give it back to me.
Oh my God! Yeah, hey, you know what? We're old, and we're damn glad that's all we lose.
Well, and 90% of the people here, that's what they will do. It's always that one little percent that causes the rumors to get started.
Exactly. And I can say this: we've been in and out of here for 13 years. We finally bought. People talk about the swingers thing. I'm going to tell you, I've never seen a grain of salt. Now, of course, my wife says, "Well, yeah, look who I'm with, you." And so, but you go to a doctor down here, the nurses have got all kinds of stories. So, who knows? I don't worry about it. It's, I figured it's like the people that think pizza has chicken on it and broccoli. That's okay, fine. That's what you do. Good for you.
Well,
but
this swingers thing you talk about, I'm like you. I've never seen it. So I can't comment. If it's going on, I've never seen it, never heard about it or anything. But if it is, I think it's just a small group doing these things. And then the rest of us are being accused of doing it. That's why we live here, and that's not true. So,
Yeah.
but there are a few YouTube channels. I try to keep up with most of them, what they're doing, what they're talking about. I don't watch very many of them regularly, but I do know of a couple of them here that's all they talk about is the singles clubs. And they talk about how does a 61-year-old person that's single meet other people, and it's just that's all they ever talk about, which leads me to think in their mind, who is this person that keeps talking about this? Like, this seems to me there's more to life than that. Whatever happened to meeting people just by your neighbors would introduce you to people? I mean, I didn't have no website. I didn't have no apps to use, and I didn't have to go to no singles clubs to meet my wife.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you that over here. Maybe sometime if I meet you, I'll tell you about a thing at the pool here, and then that's all I'm going to say. I'll just leave it at that. Not swingers, not swingers. There's a lady there that the other women swears is a hooker, and let's put it this way. You know, there are nice looking cars, and then there are cars. Well, this lady is a nice looking car, and for down here, that's good, I guess. But the women say she's a hooker, and she comes to the pool pretty regularly. So, you know, whatever. Who
I
knows?
would ask the women, how do you know that?
Well, I'll leave that alone.
People down here are always giving information out because a friend of a friend told them.
Yeah.
I don't pay much attention to that unless I definitely know who I'm talking to, because I hear it all the time. I say, and that's the question I always ask when they tell me something. How do you know that? I'm not being derogatory. I just want to know, is this legit information or a friend of a friend?
I'll just the women at the pool have it all figured out.
They always do.
I can't say anything because if I come by your house, I'll tell you about it. Yeah. But anyway,
I did a video once talking about the neighborhood pools, the adult pools. I said, all they do is they walk out in the middle of the pool in a little group and they sit there and they talk about everybody.
Oh, and if by God, you want to get some evil looks, all you need to do is start splashing some of them blue hairs. And let me tell you, that'll get you chomped on real good. Hey, have you ever been up to Southside or Paradise?
Yes.
Where they stay open till 11 o'clock?
Yes.
That's oh my gosh, about before COVID, there's an old boy up there that's a guard. And of course, he shows up at about 10 to 11. All right, everybody out of the pool. And he's got his cigarette dangling from his head. And I was going, everybody get your ass out of the pool. Let's go. It's 4 to midnight. It's his shop. Well, the reason he wants them to get out of there so he can turn the lights out, he goes over to the other pool and he sleeps. That's part of his nap. And then he wakes up at midnight and turns the truck in. Well, what happens more than one time up there, I would be up there and that's my wife wasn't down here and everybody would get out of the pool. Well, they'd wait. I think his name was Bill. They'd wait for old Bill to get the hell out of there. They go up to Circle K, get a couple 12 packs of beer, make sure old Bill was gone, then sneak back in the pool in the dark and do a whole bunch of skinny dipping and just have one hell of a party up there. And in the dark, I mean, it's 100 degrees in July, and it was quite a party that happened up there. This was the South Side, and that was a pretty neat deal. I like that, But
many years ago, when Spanish Springs was the only square there was, I don't know the name of it. There's a pool up there in the what they call the historical area that has a 20-man hot tub. It's the only pool in the villages that has a hot tub.
That's Southside. That's where we're at.
Is that Southside?
But I'll tell you what, it'll hold 8 or 10 for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a big one. And I like it. But back then, I don't know what their district rules are there. I don't. But when you go through the gate and you look to the left, there's like this little wooden like platform stage kind of like thing, and it used to have like tables and chairs up there.
Yeah.
There was a guy that lived there that was a chef at one of the country clubs down here. I can't think of the guy's name, but he on Sundays for $5 a head, because he had to make a little money to buy the food. He had a pork chop dinner that he would make on Sundays there, where you got pork chops, potato salad, and something else. I can't remember what it was, for $5.
Oh my.
Yeah, and we
What
used to go up there all the time just for that.
What a and a great Sunday activity.
Yeah,
Just I bet back when it was more of a community.
it was.
I sense that talk of the villages. There was one old guy that owned that, and they had that chat to where I bet you there were people that set up 2 and 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning and just chatted all night like a CB radio on there.
Mhm. I can remember when we was up there at the pork chop dinner, and I mean everybody showed up in that neighborhood. I mean $5, that's what and
yeah.
most of them were just locals that lived there. I was probably the outsider, but I knew people there, and they would call and tell me. Matter of fact, and I think it's next Saturday. Yeah, I think it's a week from tomorrow. I've been invited to a block party way down south in one of the newer areas. I called her and I said, "Can I video? If I can't video, I'm not going. I don't see no point in going if I can't video, because people sometimes take offense to it." And she said, "Yeah, you can video. Nobody will care." Well, we're going to find out, because I told her, I said, "Okay, I better let them know I'm coming down with my camera."
Well, yeah. And you made mention of it one time. I do a lot of photography, a lot of sports photography, and it's a long story. But when Sue got kind of chomped on at one of the things up in the at an art show or something about photography, hey, it's public. You can't trespass the eyes. Anything you can see, you can video. I mean, if these people don't like that, stay home.
Yeah, it's called what's that law called? Gosh, I can't remember the law now. That's why you can go in Disney World and take pictures of anybody and anywhere in Disney World. There's a law that protects you from doing that.
Well, yeah.
Gosh, I can't remember the name of the law now. But anyway, that's why if you're going down a public road on a public sidewalk, really, you can't stop anybody from videoing you. They're doing that.
Yeah.
They just can't. But in that situation, and we called about it. I said, if they don't want somebody to video their art, I said, I'm not being rude. I said, okay. All you got to do is put a little sign in front of the door saying, "Please don't video anything inside my store." And that's fine. I got no problem with that. But this guy didn't do that, did he? He got kind of crappy.
Well, was this on? But wasn't this because one of the art shows up there? I took my camera up there and started taking pictures, and some guy got a little testy with me, and I said, "You need to go get your director because I can do this." Well, he never came back. He never gave me any more go. And then there was one guy down the road go, "Hey, you take all the pictures you want here. If you make any money from it, let me figure out. Tell me how you did it, okay?" I mean, But then the saddest part of this, you go into any store, you go anywhere, walk down the sidewalk. There's all kinds of video.
Yes. Yeah. The only reason why I quit videoing a lot of the stuff around the square is because you get, because it's got that music, you can't rebroadcast that music and stuff, and it just got to too much trouble, and I just quit doing it.
And you've got alcohol fueled people, and all of a sudden it's just not. It's not. Yeah, exactly.
Well, in Spanish Springs, they're working on getting some of that straightened out. They're going to pass a city ordinance up there, making all the bars in the Spanish Springs area close down 2 hours early.
That's not all bad. I mean, because that's where the problems are.
It's right there at Margaritaville. That's where. And the thing is that they don't really report that much is in that big parking lot that's behind Margaritaville and that whole section right there. The kids go in there at night. The local kids outside the villages, they go in parking lots at night, like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, with their cars, and they turn all their music up real loud, and they have their own little parties back there, and the police department are constantly going back there. And when they do that, they say, we can't patrol neighborhoods like we're supposed to be doing because we have to deal with this over here.
Well, with all the money that the village has got, it's time they hire an off-duty guy that would, I mean, but hey, what do you say? Everybody's problems are easier to solve than your own. A lot easier to solve than, But,
oh yeah, when you're on the outside looking in, you can see everything wrong. But when you're on the inside trying to figure out how to straighten it out, it's a whole different subject.
Yep. The other guy's grass is always greener until you got to cut it. I just, I don't know. Hey, Buster, this has been very enlightening, and I truly, truly appreciate what you do. And you can tell. There's been a couple times I've seen Sue just give you the look.
Oh, I get the look.
Yeah, and that's when you melt like a popsicle on August sidewalk. I can see it, and we all do. We're nothing without them.
I told a guy one time, I said, well, I got to make her mad once in a while. He said, why is that? I said, makes her blood boil, makes it move. I said, because as long as I keep her blood moving, she'll live longer.
Well, yeah. And as I say to my wife, I go, do you realize if you weren't here, my underwear drawer would just be up. And you know what she says? If I wasn't here, you probably wouldn't even change her. So anyway.
Well, I'll tell you, if I don't know if I'm typical of most husbands or not, but Sue sets up all the bill paying, whether it be automatic or whatever. She does all that. I don't do any of that. And if something should happen to her, God, I don't know. I got to figure this out.
Well, every time my wife gets a little bit sick, I say, honey, I'm feeling bad that you don't feel bad. Now, where is that business card from the cleaning lady? Where is her business card? What the hell do you need that for? I go, because if you don't make it through this, I'm going to have her every week instead of every 2 weeks. Needless to say, that does not go over real well. But
well, I don't cook, okay. And she's always saying, if something happens to me, she said, "How you gonna get by?" I said, "McDonald's ain't too far down the road."
That's right. Hey, you know what? You have one eye on the casket and one eye on the crowd. There
you go.
Hey, give your bride a hug for me.
I will.
You're a good guy, and I really, really enjoy what you do.
Okay, she's probably watching. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't see her on the chat, but she's probably watching, so she hears you.
That sounds great. She's a good lady, I can tell.
Okie dokie.
Good day. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Lines are open. Anybody that would like to call? I think most of my callers left me after the first try. It was such a, what can I tell you? Just one of them glitches again. Sitting there looking, my cousin in Texas sends me a thing. He's at this, one of his favorite pizza places over there on Aransas Island. Is that it? Aransas Island? Aransas Pass? Everything's Aransas around there. I get confused. Aransas Island, Aransas Pass, Aransas County, and Aransas something else. Anyway, out on the beachy side over there by Mustang Island, there's a pizza place over there, and he likes to go there. And he just sent me a thing. I didn't get to go there this time, believe it or not. We were trying to get videos of other stuff for the RV channel, and I was so busy doing some of that I just didn't get out to Mustang Island. I like to do a little bit of beach combing once in a while, but the spring breakers down there this year was really bad, and I just didn't get a chance to get out there. So we just went around to some of the old Texas towns to get a new job. He don't have a new job. He's retired from the Air Force. But for the campground he was in, he was, they call it, I forget what they call it. Basically, you work at the campground and they give you a huge discount for a site. And that's what he was doing. So, Becky Forbes, I guess I'm saying that right. Mr. Rizzo, Kathy Donlin, Brenda W. If your glass in your lanai. Hold on a minute. Yes. Hello. I can hear a delay. Hello. Hello. I think they hung up on me. What's that? I didn't do that.
Hello?
Did you call me?
No. Who is this?
This Skip?
Skip?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called you Skip.
I don't know. I hung up. I have no idea. Who was calling for? This is Fort Wayne number. Did I call that number? Who did I just call? I don't know. So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, we went to some old Texas towns, get some video and different places like that for boondocking on the beach. It's free and different places. But I didn't get to go to that pizza place. But I got to tell you, when you go down in Texas and start further west also, everything is Tex-Mex. It can be a little combination of barbecue and Mexican and thus Tex-Mex, or it's Mexican or barbecue. And after a while, you just get tired of it. Not that it's bad. You just get tired of it. So we were on the hunt one day. I told her, I said, we're going to go over to Corpus Christi today because Ron was busy doing something, I forget. And Margaret was working. So I told Sue, I said, grab the cameras. We're going to go to Corpus Christi. And I'm halfway over there. She said, I didn't really want to go to Corpus Christi because they're doing such a huge project over there with road construction. They've got to put in this huge bridge, this brand new bridge they're putting in because they're now going to receive the big tankers that bring in all the trailers and stuff on them from China, over there. So they had to make a bigger bridge for them to get underneath of it. And I wanted to try to avoid that, but I really couldn't this time because I just had a craving. And she says, where are we going over here? So I'm going to find some real food. So we ended up going over there and I found an Olive Garden. And so we went to Olive Garden that day. And oh my God, that food tasted so good. I was so tired of barbecue and so tired of Tex-Mex. I just wanted something else. There is a buffet in Rockport called Butter Churn. And it's pretty good. And I did go there twice. And I could have went there a third time probably. They got some pretty good stuff on there. But anyway, that day we went and got some Olive Garden stuff, which I was kind of missing. So that's where we went. I don't know who that is from Fort Wayne that was called. I wish you'd call back. I got nobody waiting. You can ask me anything. As long as it's not crazy. If I don't get any more phone calls, then I'm going to end this until another day. I don't have a huge amount of people on here right now. We only got 91 people. So the news will be out next Friday. I've got it half done now. Hello.
Hey, Skip, it's Joy again. So
Hey,
I got a
Joy.
question. Hey, I got a question for you. So, uh-oh, my dog just jumped up on me. Okay, so are you thinking about for the Wednesday Night Live about doing the crazy stuff that you had with the mouth, that mouthpiece, and you would give a quote and the girls had to guess it?
I thought that was funny.
I thought it was hilarious. We watched it twice because it was so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, why don't you do that on another WNL? I'd love to see that.
Well, the reason why I didn't do any more of that is because all the girls told me it was stupid.
No, it was hilarious.
Yeah, Deb said, she said, I don't want to do that anymore. She said, that's stupid. Sue told me she thought it was stupid. And so I just didn't do it anymore.
Well, it was funny, absolutely hilarious.
That's
I'm
why
sorry you didn't like all that Texas food. I heard you talking about it.
that's what I was telling them. I said, I don't care how stupid it is. I think a pie in
Yeah.
the face is stupid. I said, it's all about having fun. And as long as the
Yeah.
audience thinks it's funny, that's why I do it.
Well, Mike and I were howling. It was so funny.
Well, I
Of
still
course,
got
we're
all,
trying to-
I still got the mouthpieces. I could do it if they'd let me.
Okay, now you have to include the drool too, you know.
The what?
The drool.
You can't help it. You can't help it.
I know, that's hilarious. That's part of
You
what
get them
funny.
things in your mouth and you're trying to talk and all the saliva underneath your tongue comes slobbering out.
I know, it's hilarious. It's just funny.
I know. Well, I'll
You gotta
consider
do
it.
that.
I'll consider it.
All right, all right. Well, are you gonna have a WNL at the end of the month this month?
I think so. I'm supposed to interview a guest. We haven't done yet.
Oh, okay.
I got to get a hold of Linda to get that arranged. But as long as I can get that, I think so. I
Yeah.
got ideas in my head about the WNL. Truthfully, whether we're going to continue even doing it because of the views. We're not getting views.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got some good feedback on that though. You know, there were some folks that said don't ever go longer than 2 hours, maybe even cut it to an hour and 3/4 or something.
I thought about that, but
Yeah, you put some good questions out there and you got some good feedback.
if you cut it back less than 2 hours, the truth of it is something's got to go. That's just all there is to it. Something's got to go. And when I think of what the show is, the first part of the show is just generally, hey, how you doing, Linda? Show me a picture of the dog, blah, blah, blah. We're off of that. Now we get the guest. And that, we don't have a time limit, just however long it takes. People's got questions on the chat about whatever the guest is. Like the last guest we had was Scooter. It was like, like the number one entertainment guy here.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
He was great.
Look at the views. Yeah. Look at the views. Last time I checked, there was only 1,700 views for that whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's really disgusting. Number one entertainment here, and that's it. And that's what drives me to say we're not doing that anymore. That kind of stuff. When I look at it, I go, they're not watching.
Well, do you have an alternative plan then for raising funds for the Wish Kid?
Is the crux of the whole thing. That's always on the back of my mind. What do I do if I do away with WNL and say we're not going to do it anymore? It's a big waste of everybody's time. What about the kids? And I got no answer for you. I don't know.
Okay, that's what we're about. So
yeah, and
to have fun together.
And the funny thing of it is, even though I don't get views on this stuff all year long, when it comes to the kids, every year the same people seem to show up, and we keep getting better.
Yeah, I mean that was a record-setting blowout. This last one.
It was for me. I was flabbergasted when we got $7,500. I didn't.
We were too. That was incredible.
Yeah, but it was great. It was great to give it to them.
Yeah. So good job there.
Yeah. So I'm perplexed. I don't know what to do. I'm got no answer for you. I just don't.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's my 2 cents worth.
Yeah. Are you back in Florida or are you still in Texas?
Yeah, we're home.
Okay.
We've had to go. We're here in Florida. We won't be going back to Texas unless we have to for something. New house is sold.
Oh, okay.
And all that stuff's done. Yeah, our daughter is well settled in down there, and so we don't need to. But I have family in Georgia, and we did some Georgia trips here, and anyway, so that took us on the road a little bit, and but we're back now for a good bit. We're not going to travel for a while.
So you haven't sold your property yet out there?
No, in Texas we did. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep, we did.
I know you was working on it, so I didn't know.
Yeah, the ice storm that they had in Texas.
Yeah.
That freak so late in the spring.
Yeah.
That interfered with our closing date and put it off by a day or two.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's all done, and we're good.
Did you get rid of it?
Did
you get rid of it before the tornadoes and stuff come ripping through?
Before Yeah. Well, the folks, yes, we didn't have any problem at all, and the folks that bought it, a real nice family.
Yeah.
It's a great neighborhood, golf community, and it has a school in it, the elementary and middle school. And the elementary school is the one I taught at, so it's a great place to live, raise kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad everything's worked out.
yeah, all worked out. But we're here. We're
Okay.
not planning on going anywhere anytime soon. Except we did go down to see the Blue Angels.
Oh, did you? You like that?
Yeah, the air show. Well, yes and no. We misunderstood a little bit about the trip. I don't think it was clearly defined. It was a bus trip, just a day trip. We thought we were actually going to be into the air show, with tickets to get in.
Mhm.
But it was just a viewing, sort of a viewing party. We all had a great time. I mean, a bus full of villagers, it was great.
God, you got on a bus with a bunch of villagers.
I know. It was fun. It was fun. Absolutely fun. And we did get to see lots of great aircraft, and the
Yeah.
Blue Angels put on quite a show there at the end. So
They do. I've seen them a couple of times at different areas here and there, and they always put on a good show.
always good. So we're here. We're going to enjoy our villages.
Okay. Well, we'll let you know on your Patreon page here about the next Patreon lunch. We don't know when or where, but I know Sue's working on it.
Okay. That's good. We'll give her a hug. Tell her I said hello. Hadn't seen her either.
She's watching, I think, so she can hear you.
Okay, great. Hi, Sue. Love you.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling.
Okie doke. Take care.
Hello.
It's not me. We're here.
Huh? Hello.
Hey, Skip.
Hey,
Hey, it's John and Jane over in St. Catherine. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good, good. Hey, we just wanted to tell you how helpful you've been to us since we moved here. We just had Romaldo out here the last couple of days, and he did our lanai in our garage, and we also used no pressure wash service at your recommendation. So just wanted to say we appreciate you and thanks.
Well, you got two good ones there. No pressure wash. I've had them for years. I like them. Other people may not. I don't know, but they do me a good job, and they always have. And
Hey, Skip, this is Jane. And I just want to tell you, I have watched you guys way before we bought a house. You guys were influential in us buying, and I love you and I love Sue.
well, thank you. We appreciate you watching.
You're great. Thank you.
Thank you. But
All right.
Romaldo does a great job on the driveway designs. Did he give you the book?
Yes. So we just got the lanai done in the garage floor, and then he's so busy right now. He's going to come back out later in the year and do the garage and do the driveway for us. But we're real happy with the work he did, and his crew was great, and his price was fair. So anybody out there that needs concrete work, I'd certainly recommend him.
Yeah, Romaldo's if he says he'll be there at 8:00, he's generally there at 8:00.
Yeah.
There's so many
That's for
businesses here that they get there whenever they feel like getting there. And
Yeah,
Romaldo's
exactly.
not that way.
All right. Well, we'll let you go. But again, thank you very much for all that you and Sue do.
Yes.
And you guys take care, and we'll keep watching.
No problem. Keep watching and call back again if we do it again.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
guys. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was nice. I like getting nice calls once in a while. I get so many that tell me how rotten I am that when I get a good one, I take it all in. Sitting here looking at my phone. I'm from Anderson, Indiana, in case you guys don't know. I was born in Anderson. A lot of my life as a teenager, I grew up in Knightstown, Indiana, on a farm. The reason why we got rid of the farm, or my dad got rid of the farm, was because Interstate 70 cut right through the middle of his farm, and they never give him access to the back half of the farm. Back then, it didn't have to. And so he sold the back half to a neighbor, sold the front half to another neighbor, and then we moved back to Pendleton, Indiana. He bought a house there. He was working at Delco Remy in Anderson anyway. Delco Remy, which is a GM plant. And I graduated from Pendleton High School back in 1970. By then, though, they built a new school and they changed it from Pendleton High School to Pendleton Heights. And our class was the first one. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, Skip. It's Kelly B.
Hey, Kelly B.
Glad you guys are back. I've missed you and Sue.
Is this the Kelly B from 603?
913. Whoops. Kansas City, Kansas.
Oh, this is the cop.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So I got to be good. Or I'll be breaking some rule somewhere, I'm sure.
Nah.
When are you moving?
I will be moving at the end of next year.
Okay.
Had my first visit to my house last month, and I'll be going back in June.
You already bought the house?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Yep. I closed January 30th. Bought one in Citrus Grove.
See, I have your hat on.
Yes, that's why I called.
Oh,
I wanted to say thank you. We've had a rough week at our police department this week. So we had 3 officers that were shot. They're all going to be fine, but it's been a rough week. So I was glad that you're supporting.
well, I always support the first
Yes, you
responders.
do.
All of them. Matter of fact, any of them that ever sends me a hat, sometimes it's hard for me to remember how I wore the last time on the shows because I like to put them on.
Mhm.
And I watch the news too, and I tell you what, Kelly, I just don't get some of this.
I don't either. It was very scary listening to it on the radio. So I'm
Yeah.
just glad that they're all okay.
So what you're moving here? You say next year, or the end of this year?
Yes, I have, let's see, I think on my countdown calendar, I have 616 calendar days left until my retirement date.
616 days.
Calendar days. So calendar days are different than working days because calendar days is just a calendar. Working days would be less than that. So on my date, I think, is December 12th, 2024.
Nice Christmas present, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Are you looking forward to it?
Oh, more than you know.
I bet.
It was really hard to leave my new house and come back here, but it's all right. It's a good place to come back and visit and, make it a home before we even get there. And
Yeah.
we had such a great time, and we'll be back in June.
Well, I know you're going to miss your friends and people you worked with for a long time, but they can always come visit.
Well, but actually my best friend, the one you met at Cody's when we all went to lunch,
Yeah.
the truck driver,
Yeah.
she actually got a truck driving job in Orlando.
Cool.
So she's going to be heading down there next week, and she's going to be staying in my house. So,
Hey, tell her if she's interested. She may not be. That UPS is looking for line haul drivers. Line haul drivers is where you go from one terminal to another terminal and then come home. So you're home every day.
oh, okay. I will have to let her know, but she got a job with a beverage company down there. So
Which
I don't
one?
want-
Do you know?
I do.
Or you're not allowed to
Dr.
say?
Pepper?
Huh?
Dr. Pepper?
But what's the trucking company's name?
It is Dr. Pepper, Keurig Dr. Pepper. She'll be working for the
Oh,
company.
so she's working for the company.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that might be pretty good.
Yeah. She's super excited about it. And oh yeah, she just turned in her semi today for the company she's been working for. So pretty exciting time for her.
So she's moving to Orlando area?
She's going to come stay in my house there in Citrus
And
Grove.
she's going to drive back. Oh, she only has to go down there, what, maybe one day a week or something?
No, she's home. She'll be home daily.
Oh, my God, that's a 45-mile drive. And
She
she's
doesn't care. She's been driving all over the place.
Oh,
so
she's going to
it'll be
care.
nothing.
Oh, she's going to care. You wait till she goes down there and deals with that Orlando traffic.
Hey, you know what? She'll just be whipping in and out of the traffic in the lane.
You're going to sit there and smile and go, I don't care. I'm retired.
Right. But yeah, I'm excited to have her there to, be
Yeah.
in my house. And so she'll be there to find her forever home when something pops up that is going to be perfect for her in the villages. So
Well,
We're
there's,
super excited.
as you know, there's plenty of houses down here to buy.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And not
I,
necessarily just here. I mean, next door, there's 2 or 3 retirement places.
mhm.
You know, they're all around. She could be within 5 minutes of your house living at another retirement community.
That's true. But, she wants to be here where all the fun and action is.
That is right. That there's more stuff going on here than anywhere else. That's good for
Yeah.
some people, but not good for other people. Some people just don't like it. They like a nice, quiet, they're not interested in playing golf every day and things like
Yep.
that.
I'm ready to learn how to play golf.
Are you?
I'm
My
excited
advice
about that.
my advice would be to start you out, unless you already know people that's willing to go out. Do the pitch and putt stuff.
Yes, definitely. Get some practice there.
Yeah, it'll teach you a lot. And once you do some pitch and putt things, and it's pretty popular down there in your area, the pitch and putt things.
Yes.
I say your area, and the truth is, I don't even know where your area is. Where is it?
It's down by Sawgrass.
Oh, so it is down in your area.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to have to turn that partying down. I saw it on the news where they're getting tired of all that noise down there. No, that's right. No, you guys are complaining about wanting to turn the music up louder.
Right. It's like people ought to know, we've got some live music going on. It's not going to be going on all night long. It's off by 9. So.
Well, I don't really know that area. I know that basically Wildwood covers it with the police. There might be a county rule about how loud something can be. I don't know that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it might be something to look into. A lot of times people will say, well, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Well, the villages will tell you they say, well, why are you closing the bars at, the pools down here in my area? And I think down in your area too, the swimming pools have to be closed by sunset or something. It's 7 o'clock, 6:30, something like that. But yet north up in the older area, they don't have to close the pools till 11 o'clock at night.
That's kind of different. So I wonder why.
County, the rules.
Okay.
Lady Lake says you can do that. Here, they say, they never said we can't stay open later, but they're saying you can't stay any later than sunset because our pools are not lighted.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
But that's also a good safety thing too.
It is, because there's always people that's going to sneak in. I mean, I don't know how tall your walls are, but I could step over our walls.
Right, I know, and that's what you don't want. You just don't want the place getting overrun by riffraff and
Riffraff.
That's why the village is so because it's taken care of, and you don't have that down there.
Can I tell you a story?
I tell all the people up here in Kansas City, it's like you go down there and you just don't see trash. You don't see people hanging in the corners, all strung out on drugs. And it's so nice not to have to see that everywhere you turn.
That's why they call it the bubble.
Yep, I know. I can't wait to get in there and not have to go out of it.
Yeah, but you will go out of it once in a while. You almost have to, and you'll see you see the difference pretty quick.
Oh yeah, definitely. And got some other good news. My sister is also a viewer too.
Is she?
And
is she subscribed?
What?
Is she subscribed?
Well, of course she is.
Oh, okay. They all say that.
I think her name on YouTube is Mama MD, I believe.
It doesn't ring a bell.
But yeah, she's waiting for one of the phases in Middleton to be released because she signed a contract to be a physician at Villages Health starting in July of 2024. So she's coming down too.
At the new hospital?
No, not at the new hospital.
Okay.
One of the clinics.
Okay. I was just curious. Sue was telling me yesterday, I haven't really looked it up yet, but she was telling me yesterday that the new hospital has been put on hold for some
That's
reason.
what my sister was telling me because she was watching your porch setting.
Yeah.
And she heard Sue say that.
So. Oh, yeah. I don't know why, but I guess it is.
I think they're having a hard time trying to recruit doctors to come down. And yeah, so she's trying to get more of her people she knows to look at it and come down as well. And whenever we were there in March last month, our salesperson took us around in Middleton, and that place is just amazing. So lots going on in there.
Yeah, I have heard that story too. Now that you say that, they say they're having a hard time to get people from the north, professional people, doctors and registered nurses and surgical teams and things that you really need to get them to come down here. I don't know why that is, other than it must be maybe money in a lot of cases that they don't pay enough here for them to do that. I mean,
I don't know.
well, you know, in this country, money talks. I mean, that's
Oh, absolutely.
sure.
And it's a good opportunity to be, in such a nice place where, and she loves working with the older population, and so this is just perfect for her. To be in an area where that's going to be her main generation of patients, and she's really looking forward to that.
Is she? How long has she been a doctor?
Let's see. I would say at least 25 years. So yeah.
So does she work with a lot of elderly people? Because I'm here to tell you, we can be a real pain in the ass.
Well, and she's a tough girl. She's a veteran and actually works at the VA clinic now. So, she's kind of dealing with some crabby people, as we all can be.
Crabby?
And, so she's ready.
I can tell you, if all the patients are anything like me, if I was a doctor, I'd move somewhere else.
Hey, she can give it right back to you, Skip.
Well, I had actually, there's a registered nurse where my doctor's office is, and she takes care of, I'll tell you, the minor stuff, like look at your skin for skin cancer. She does that. And there's other things that she does, like if you get a skin tag, she'll take it off. Little things like that.
Uh-huh.
And I told Sue, I said, I'd much rather have her take care of me than my own doctor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the doctor's, he's just like all business. He comes in with a computer and he just starts typing stuff, and he'll talk to you without looking at you. And are you still taking your pill? Do you take this for that? Are you doing this or that? Do you get up? You got any aches or pains I need? And he's typing all the stuff in there. He's just collecting information. That's all he's doing. She comes in, she's a hands-on. She said, well, how you feeling? I said, well, I don't know. Sometimes I get it, my lower back hurts. She said, well, raise up your shirt. Let me look. That's the difference that I see.
Okay.
Yeah. I like her a lot. I don't know her name, Sue does, but, and the doctor I got, truthfully, her full-time doctor job, if that's what you call it, is at the Orlando hospital.
Oh, okay.
She only comes up here like once or twice a week to see patients. So she's quick about it. And I asked her about that, and she says, well, the villages contacted her to come up here to work a couple of days a week because they're having trouble getting full-time doctors here.
Oh, okay.
So what you say is true.
Yeah. And, it's a great place to come. Not a lot of people probably know about the villages. And
do you find that amazing?
What?
Do you find that amazing?
Yeah.
I do too. I mean, after so many years of this place being publicized in Forbes magazine, Fox News, all this stuff going on, and yet every day somebody say, where you live at? I said, I live in the Villages, Florida. Oh yeah, where's that? And right away, it's like, I can't believe you've never heard of it.
Yeah, me too. And so my sister did some research, and she was looking at places, retirement places to move to, and she came across the villages. And so it's kind of funny because it came up on my Facebook memories of 2 years ago, like last week.
Yeah.
We had gone to Disney for a few days, and we met up there, and she's like, we really need to go up here and check out the villages. We'll just go drive around. And we were just in awe of how, one, big it was, and two, how beautiful it was. And we were just like totally amazed that we had never known about this place before. And so since those 2 years, we both have been doing research and finding out about it, finding YouTubers. Of course, you're the first one I found, and learned so much about the area and what's going on, and, crime. rates and, stuff like that, we're like, wow, this place actually exists and, we don't hear anything about it. So, that was pretty cool. And so now I tell everybody about it where I work, and I'm like, you guys just need to go check this place out. It's just, you just be amazed. It's just so amazing, what we're used to here. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm surprised that there's not more people that do know about it whenever you mention it.
We've had a lot of our friends, when I had my first house, it was a part-time home really, because I was still working as you are. And so our first home was a patio villa because it was easy to take care of and that kind of thing. Now, Sue is retired, so she came down a lot and just left me at home. And she would tease me all the time. Yeah, she'd come down at Christmas time, and I was still working for UPS, driving around in the snow and stuff. And then she'd send me text messages with a picture on it all the time of her sitting by the pool. That used to really honk me off. So, man, why do you send me this stuff? I don't know what kind of day I've had, So I tell my friends, I look at the picture she just sent me. Well, where's she at? She's down at our home, our part-time home down to Villages, Florida. Well, where's that at? And then I'd tell them, about the Villages. Back then, they had Spanish Springs, and when we bought our first home, and Lake Sumter, Brownwood wasn't even thought about yet. And I tell them about it, and they go, well, what makes that place any different than any other retirement place down there? And, I'm trying to describe the lifestyle in the Villages, which is like an impossible thing to do. And then I just tell them about it. Well, after I retired and came down, a few of my friends called up and said, hey, we're going to come down to Florida for a week. We thought we'd like to stop by and maybe you can show us around. I said, you don't need to stay nowhere for a week. Just come here. I got extra room. Just come here. And so they would come, and then we'd get in a golf cart or a car or whatever, and we'd go around and show it to them. And immediately the question, the statement they make, and I always think it's funny, is they'll say, wow, we didn't realize it was this big.
Yeah.
As well, yeah. How big do you think it's going to be with 120,000 people living here?
Right. Everybody living on top of each other?
Well, in some communities it does look that way. I know, like patio villa areas, they do look crowded, but truthfully, they're not. They're very quiet areas. Our first was a patio villa, and I tell you what, other than once in a great while, I could hear the lady's garage door opening up next to us, but other than that, I never heard nothing.
Yeah, my house is really quiet, Citrus Grove, and I'm, let's see, I think 2 blocks from the golf course, which is right on the turnpike. I can't hear it at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was, pleasantly surprised. As you know, I think I told you I bought my house on FaceTime, basically, or my sales agent walked me through it because that was my whole daily ritual, was looking at homes, and this one had popped up, and I sent her a text and said, can you just talk me out of buying this?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, it doesn't have a water view. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think I want one. I don't know if you can hear my dogs, they're making noise because they saw somebody outside.
Are they drug dogs?
I'm sorry?
Are they drug dogs?
No, they are not. One of them is a Maltipoo and the other one is a Yorkie. So,
I had the chief of police from Fruitland Park on the WNL show a while back, and I kind of got him in a corner really on the show. I said, how about me doing a ride along? Can I do a ride along and take my cameras with me?
Yeah, did you ever do that? I've been waiting for it.
Well, no, he never said anything. And so apparently, though, one of my followers, I don't know who it was, he calls me up one day and he says, hey, he said, you've got a really good follower here. He comes in and he's kind of getting on me about this ride along that he wants you to do. He says, I told him, I said, well, we're really busy right now and blah, blah, blah. So he said, I'm probably not going to be able to do it this year. This was like November or something of last year. And he said, probably sometime after the first of the year, though, he said, we're going to do it. He said, but I've got to get some things arranged, whatever it may be. I said, okay, no problem. I understand you got things to do. And no, I haven't done it yet. He hasn't gotten in contact with me yet. But he said that when I did it, whenever that is, he's going to put me in the cop car that's got the drug dog.
Awesome. You're going to have a good time.
I should be busy that day, shouldn't I?
Yeah, well, let's hope not, because you don't want all that stuff in the villages. But if you can find it, that's good.
We're going to
Check
find
it
it.
out.
We're going to find it all over Fruitland Park. That's where it's going to be.
Yeah, it's true. That's
Yeah.
right. Outside of the bubble.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Fruitland Park is in Lady Lake, that area there.
Yeah. Did you see? Well, maybe you said that the Wildwood officers were busy. Did you see the video by one of the YouTubers in the villages? He just happened to come across when the officers were trying to wrangle up a wild boar and her piglets.
I haven't seen that. I heard about it. Somebody sent me a thing about they were chasing the pigs around trying to catch them, and I said I got to see that video, but no, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, you'll laugh.
Yeah. Well, hey, anything's good for a laugh.
Heck yeah, got to see some funny stuff.
Yeah, but I could teach them a little something about catching pigs, because we had a pig farm for many, many years. That forget catching them. You ain't going to catch them. You got to you got to trap them. I mean, the idea of catching them, you're wasting your time.
Right. They just kind of had to get out of the car and start walking towards them and just herd them to where they needed
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah, you can herd them somewhere. You can do that. But as
Mhm.
far as grabbing them babies, I think what they thought, that's going to be a big mistake, grabbing them babies. You don't want to do that.
Oh no, because here comes Mama.
Mama's going to come at you full steam.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you'll have to look out for my friend Liz. She'll be down there next week, and hopefully she stays out of trouble and doesn't have way too much fun.
Just tell her to give us a call, send me an email. We'll
I
meet her
will.
somewhere and have a drink and talk about you.
Yeah, there you go. You guys can go down to Sawgrass and figure out if it's really that loud down there.
I don't know. We went to Sawgrass when they had the grand opening. I did video down there, and to be quite honest with you, I didn't think it was all that loud myself.
No,
But I didn't
probably
think it was
isn't.
all that quiet either.
Yeah, it's like, and of course it might be a little bit louder when the wind blows one way and then blows another.
Could be.
Yeah, but I was there St. Patrick's Day and it was packed.
Yeah,
So it was
it'll
a
be
good
that
time.
way. And, until they get that four square opened up, and so that people can kind of spread out a little bit.
Yes.
It's always going to be that way.
Yeah, and that's fine, and that's another thing that my sister and I noticed and really loved about the villages was seeing people out and about doing things.
Yeah,
Instead
that's
of,
true. When
oh.
Sue and I decided years ago that we were probably going to live here, we went to, I don't even know how many retirement communities, and you may have done the same thing. And we were looking at them in the middle of summer. Of course, it was hot. And we have our grandkids with us because we took them to Disney World, which, by the way, is a catastrophe to take grandkids to Disney World in July.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be dying.
Oh, I was so battered. So we're looking at all these retirement communities, and that was the one thing we noticed different here to everywhere else we went, except on top of the world. That was another exception.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at all these places, Sola Vita and everything, and the thing that we noticed about every one of them, nobody was out. There was nobody around. And the real estate people would tell us, well, it's hot. And so people stay in when it's hot. They'll come out later this evening to walk their dogs and whatever. And so somewhat, that's even true here.
Yeah.
But even in the daytime, 90 degrees outside, take your golf cart and go for a ride and look on the golf courses. They're full.
Yeah. And
So-
that's amazing.
Yeah, you don't see them on the street maybe. That's because they're out doing stuff.
Yeah. And that's great. I just, it's the thing about living here in the Midwest, it's like people just stay inside and don't do anything.
Yes.
They're like, well, I'm bored. I guess I'll go get another full-time job whenever I retire. And they're like, aren't you going to do that? And I'm like, heck no. I am moving to the best place in the world where there's so much to do. And if you're bored, it's your fault. So
Yeah. Now this
I'm really
is
looking forward to that.
this is a good place for a lot of people. It may not be
Oh,
good
yeah.
for everybody, but it's good for a lot of people.
Yes.
Like I said before, I think we're upwards of 140,000 people now, something like that.
Yeah. And
So
it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
140,000 people can't be wrong, but at the same time, not everything here is right. You know that.
Right. Right.
So you just have to be aware of that. That's all. I mean, that little phrase of "don't leave your keys in a golf cart." I just did that one time because I did I don't know, one of the news things, and it seems like there was like 3 golf carts stolen in that same week.
Oh,
And so at the
I
end of
saw-
it, I just blotted it out. I says, when you guys come down here, don't leave your keys in the golf cart. You
yeah.
know?
Did you see? I don't know if you're on Facebook or whatnot, but someone posted that somebody took the wrong golf cart.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but at least they got them switched out and back
Yeah.
to the rightful owners. But that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy a while ago that brought that up, and I said, you're not here, you don't see the news every day and all this and that, but that happens more times than you can imagine. People have a couple of beers. Some of the golf carts all look alike. They're all Yamahas. Most of them are. And you got a white Yamaha. He's got a white Yamaha. It don't make no difference if there's 3 years difference in them. Nobody really notices the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy comes out of the bar and he jumps in a white Yamaha and he takes off. If he's got the older one, some of them, the keys will fit any of them. And
Yeah,
so,
that's scary.
and then the next guy comes out because him and his wife went in there and they just ate dinner. And he comes out, so he hasn't been drinking anything, and he notices that my golf cart's gone. And she says, well, maybe that white one there's yours. No, because I had say a football sticker on the windshield. That's my golf cart. Or he may have had something stuck on top of the golf cart so he could recognize his golf cart from everybody else's golf cart. So he calls the police. He calls you. Says, hey, somebody stole my golf cart. And then you're coming out there taking a police report and blah, 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 and asking him questions and stuff. And okay, we'll look into it. A day later, the guy at the bar will call the police and say, hey, we think we found his golf cart. This guy brought it back and says, hey, I got to looking. I don't think this is my golf cart.
Yeah, that's why you got to make them look, very custom and put some, things on them so people don't, mistake them for yours. But it was funny though, the one that I was actually swapped out last night, I guess it had like a big sticker on the front of it with words, but then the other one didn't. So I'm like, man, I really hope those people weren't drinking too much that they really didn't even remember that.
Well, you're going to find out when you get here. There's a lot of drinking that goes on.
Oh, I know. And it's like in your, the weekly news, this person got arrested with DUI in a golf cart. It's like, oh man.
Yeah. Well, you see so many things that's wrong. I'm a big follow the rule kind of guy. I learned that, I think, playing sports in school and stuff. And it's just the way the law is. If the law says you should not be texting while driving, there's a good reason why, because somebody can die.
Exactly.
And yet here, somehow driving a golf cart is not the same as driving a car. Now,
and it should be.
It is. It is exactly the same. It's just, I'm talking about in their mind. Yeah. It's not the same as driving a car. So they text all the time driving. They run into telephone poles. They get stuck in the ditches. Golf carts roll into the pond.
Yeah. That happened again while you were gone.
And I know it happens all the time. You just look at it and just shake your head. Goes, I'm convinced that they just will never learn. They just won't.
Yeah. Oh well. Hey, makes life exciting. As long as it's not your golf cart, it's all good.
But you've been around all this stuff before. When someone gets nailed for something like, say, a DUI, and they go to court, well, the court says you're going to pay $100 fine, lose your license for 6 months, and you're out of here. That's pretty typical. So, but you don't hear about how much did all this just cost them.
Oh, yeah.
They got lawyers. They're not representing themselves on this. And then a court can say you're got to go to, say, an anger management class because you've done something stupid. You're going to pay for that. There's all kinds of stuff you're paying. And the guys on a golf cart, I said, if you get caught on the road on a golf cart that's not street legal and you're on the wrong road, you're not just going to get a speeding ticket because you went too fast in a golf cart lane. That's not the problem. You're going to get because you were going over 20 miles an hour and you were doing, say, 30, which is pretty typical for golf carts to go 30. And they're going to give you a ticket, not just for speeding, but now they're going to give you tickets for not being street legal.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's not cheap.
I figured it up one time, and it was kind of an average between $500 and $750
Wow.
plus your time going to court.
Yeah.
You got to go back the second time to court when they get done with you to prove that you had all this
Exactly.
stuff fixed. It's,
Yeah, it's not cheap. You know, in a DUI here, if it's your first one, I think the fine is over $800 plus, like you said, you know, you have to do classes
yeah,
and those cost money each time. Then you have to have a drug and alcohol evaluation that costs around, I think, between $200 to $300. And then you have to spend time coming back and forth to probation check-ins once a month. And you know, if you have a job, then you have to take off work for that,
yeah,
and then come to do that. And you know, it's a long process.
it
And
is.
you know, and it's good when people learn from it, but then it's also horrible whenever you see someone coming back again for their second one, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
you know, you just wonder what's going on, and hope that maybe they'll learn after the second time. But you
Do
know,
you keep up? Do you keep up with any of the news reports in the Central Florida area out there, or do you even get them?
not really. I just the stuff that I see on Facebook. I think it's like the Village's newspaper. It's not the, you know, it's not the happy newspaper, but it's the I think their logo's like red and white and black or something. And sometimes they'll have you know, news stories on there from Orlando and stuff.
Yeah, I've been watching the news about these 3 teenagers.
Yes, I saw that one. That's awful.
Well,
12 years old.
it is awful, and they caught 2 of the 3 people that killed them.
Yeah.
And one of the shooters, you're right, was 12 years old.
Yeah. It's like, where's their parents?
That's
How
what
are
I
they?
said. Where the hell's your
Yeah.
parents? What the hell's going on here?
I don't know. And
Did you see the sheriff of Marion County come on and give his little speech, so to speak, about
No, I did not.
all that? You could tell that this sheriff has had enough of this.
Yeah.
And yeah, he came after the parents. He made statements to about the school system,
Hmm.
and he made statements about the idea of not making teenagers responsible for their actions.
Yeah.
And
That's all true.
yeah, but you just had to see it because you could just feel his anger through the network.
Hmm.
So I imagine when these guys see this stuff time and time and time again, they just get sick of it.
Yeah, because you know, it's just loss of life for no reason. You know, it's the same with all of these drug overdoses with this fentanyl. You know, it's as bad as crack cocaine was back in the 90s
Mm,
with how it is now with fentanyl. And it's just, I mean, horrible. One little whiff of that stuff and it can kill you.
yes.
And the kids just don't understand that. You know, it's like, oh, yeah, we'll test this out. But man, one little whiff
And you're
and
dead.
you can be dead.
Yeah. There ain't no
And
testing it out. You're dead.
yeah, I mean, and they're and it's crazy how you know, the Narcan stuff works most of the time, but sometimes they have to be given 3, 4, 5 doses of that stuff to wake them up. And you know, it's like, wow. And it's like, are they doing this because they think, well, if I OD on this stuff, they're just going to give me some of that Narcan and bring me back, you know? So it's almost like there's really no consequence to it, you know?
I don't know. I
And
always wonder what makes you even knowing everything that you know, and all these kids know, we know, they know more than we do.
yeah,
Why would you even try?
I don't know. I mean, it's just probably peer pressure, fads, trying to fit in, and it's horrible. And I'm just, ugh, it's so bad. I have no words for it.
Well, I don't either, and I have no answer for any of it. If I did, we wouldn't have this problem, but I don't. So, but I do
Right.
kind of compare myself to some of these drug addicts. Because back when I was in school, smoking was the thing.
Hmm.
I probably would have never smoked if I didn't hang around a bunch of guys that did.
Yeah. Peer
And so
pressure.
maybe, I don't know. Parents should know who the kids are hanging around with.
Yes. And a lot of times parents just don't pay attention. They're at work or doing the drugs themselves and just not paying attention.
Mm, I don't
And
know. I guess,
very, very sad.
yeah.
This world has changed a lot.
What's sad is You have a boy, right?
Yes.
What's sad is your boy is never going to know the world that you knew.
Oh, absolutely not. Not at all. Never. And like I was talking with my friends and it's like, these kids nowadays, back in the day, we used to go and spend the night at our friend's house on the weekend and, play games and have a good time.
Yep.
And, now it's all about cell phones and social media, playing games online. They're not hanging out in person anymore. It's
No.
just very odd.
It is odd. It's a
And
whole different world. You're right.
yes,
Uh,
and it's scary because all the stuff on social media and all these crazy TikTok channel things and all these TikTok challenges and it's just where do these kids come up with this stuff? And it is very, very scary. I would never in a million years want to go back to being a teenager in today's world. Not at all.
well, I can tell you this. I lived in a town in Anderson when I was probably, before we moved to the farm, I was probably about 10 years old, 8, 9 years old, something like that.
Mhm.
And the kids we all played together. We had bicycles and we rode them around out in the woods, and we had an old pasture field that we go out and play baseball in it. This stuff we made up. And I can tell you that every mother on that road knew every kid by name, knew
Mhm.
every kid's mother's name, and if you got caught doing anything, that mother that's not your mother is liable to whip your ass and then tell you to go
Right.
home. And then when you got home, your mom's liable to whip your ass again.
Right. And the thing is that, nowadays kids are, it's built into their brains. Oh, nobody can spank me. Nobody can touch me. And, I just wish that we could go back in the day, like I remember if my mom looked at me cross-eyed, she said, that's all I needed to do was look at you cross-eyed. And you were like, I would start to cry and know that I did wrong. Now, my sister was completely different. She might have to get a swat on the butt, but then she realized, okay, I better, shape up. But, we knew. And like you said about, the moms knowing everything about the kids and whatnot. Oh man, my mom was that person. She knew every kid. She knew their parents. She would be at our activities and talk to the parents and, they all knew each other. And nowadays it's just not like that.
Now everybody's busy, everybody's doing, and then a lot of things gets lost between the cracks.
Yep, sure does. And it's sad.
Okay, well, I think we're going to move on. I'm not about ready to end this show. I think I've talked too much.
Well, nice talking to you, Skip. I'm glad
Okay.
you're back home safe and looking forward to more porch setting.
I'm looking forward for you moving here.
Hey, you and me both. Like I said, 616 days.
All right, tell your friend to send me an email or call me when she gets here or whatever, and we'll meet her for a beer and we'll talk, nasty stuff about you.
Okay, sounds good. I sure will.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
See ya.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay. I was kind of surprised Kelly calls. I'm always picking on her. She's a Kansas City cop. And I'm always telling her, I always make this mistake on purpose. And I'll say, I got this hat from a friend of ours that's a police officer in Kansas City, Missouri. They don't like that. Oh. Becky says, really enjoyed that chat. I did too. I like talking to people, finding out a little bit about them. They find out a little bit about me. A lot of people ask things that they don't ask on a chat, like on a YouTube video. And, so sure way to get on here. And if you want to critique one of my videos or what I said or something I did or whatever like that, this is the time to do it. So I got no more calls coming in right away. Hey, Jerry. Thanks, buddy. I'll look at the chat real quick. Need to bring back the draft. I won't disagree with that. So I need to move on or I'll lose call. Hey, look, if nobody's calling, I just let them talk. If they want to talk, we talk. If somebody keeps calling and keeps calling and keeps calling, then I'll try to end that conversation and move on to the next caller. But as you heard my phone all through that conversation, nobody was calling. So I let them talk as long as they want to talk. Country is doomed. Well, it can be fixed, but it's going to take people to wise up. Trying to make sense of what this Jan Smith said. Skip, on your next, who will, on my next what? On your next, who will you have Jose play his video on his cart ride to Walmart? Not sure. They do have a cart path up there on the historical side that does take you over to that Walmart. Well, it also takes you to Cracker Barrel and some other stuff up there. Next to 27441, if that's what you're talking about. And I don't know that we've ever done that video. He takes care of that area when we do WNL. Then whatever video he sends me, I'll let him talk about it. But I don't know what he's doing. I haven't talked to anybody about WNL this month, so I have no idea if we're going to do anything. Hello, you're on the air.
This Skip?
Yep.
Hey, Skip.
Go on.
It's Greg from Fort Wayne.
Yeah, I got you, Greg. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, I'm just going to retire here in a couple months.
Where you work at?
I work at the Coliseum where you guys did the motorcycle thing there a few years back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember going there a couple times.
Yeah. I'm going to retire here in a couple months. And did you ever think about not retiring before you? I'm 65. And did you ever think about the consequences of retiring before your retirement age?
Well, it all depends on how you're looking at it. Full retirement age actually is 70. It's never been 65 or 66. Like they keep talking about that. Full retirement age is 66. Well, it's really not. You can start to retire at 62. Your monthly income goes up every year that you work all the way up to the age of 70. At 70, it stops. So 70 is actually where you get the most money you'll ever get on Social Security. I wanted to work till I was 65 only because, well, money's always part of the scenario. But basically, for me, it was medical insurance. As long as I worked at UPS, was full time, my wife had a full Blue Cross and Blue Shield that covered all of her treatments, and we didn't have to pay for nothing. And that's why I wanted to keep doing it. At 65, I could roll that over into Medicare, and then she would be on her Medicare, and then we would just do what we had to do to go from that point on. And the only reason why I left at 60, I think I was 62 and a half or 63 and a half, something like that, is because the company, UPS, was making some serious changes, up to which UPS sold the company that I worked for to a Canadian company. So I got out, I think, when I wanted to get out. And that's the only reason why I left early was because of that. UPS was making changes. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it sounded. I got a temper a little bit. And me and the terminal manager got into it, and I just basically told him to shove it. But my choice, to answer your question, would have been I would like to have worked till I was 65 so I could have rolled my Medicare right along with my retirement.
Well, yeah, that's my point. Is that's the only reason I'm working till 65 because I didn't want to. I needed Medicare. I needed to get health insurance, but after that, I mean, I'm still able to work. But did you ever think at retiring before you were old enough to get Medicare? Does it bother you not to retire before that?
Well, I did. I retired at 62 and a half, Medicare at 65. So I left 2.5 years early.
You had to get individual insurance before that
No.
Medicare then.
No, not with UPS. With UPS, I could keep that insurance all the way up until 65, even though I was retired.
I see.
I just wanted to keep that insurance because as long as I was working, I could have my wife on that insurance plan. And it took care of all of her treatments. Once I left, she had to start finding her own insurance because they won't give it to her. And so that's the reason why I didn't want to leave early. But I was almost to the point where I was being forced out. And
yeah.
Anyway, so I did what I, but let me just say though, when I moved to Florida here, for the first 2 years that I was here, all the way up, I left at 62 and a half. I come down here, give or take 2 years of being here. I worked for the villages.
Oh, so you worked afterwards just to have something to do.
Well, that supplement the income a little bit, I suppose, because we had to buy insurance for Sue. And, you have to buy insurance. It's not cheap. So it just kind of helped pay for a lot of that.
So you think I should, you think it's a good thing for me to retire at 65 and still have, I got a pension and I got Social Security and I really don't have, my house is paid for, everything, no debt whatsoever. You think it's a good thing that to go ahead and just do it?
How old are you now?
60. I'll be 65 in May.
Oh yeah, 65. If you got no debt and you've got a pension and you have Social Security, just get out of there and just enjoy what life you got left.
All right. Well, thanks, Skip. I appreciate talking to you.
No problem, bud. Call back anytime.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep in mind, I am not a financial genius in any way. I just see things with common sense, I suppose. I've heard that same thing, WrestleMania, when we were talking earlier, off air. You guys didn't hear it. He said something to me that somebody had told him, and I said, that has to be true. Wouldn't say it was the advice I'd give anybody because everybody's situation is different, but yeah, and I've had people tell me that when I was talking about retirement, and that's always the question: what's the good timing of it, and all this and that. And a guy told me once, he said, "Don't wait too long." And at the time that they say it, you may not think too much about that, but as you get older, you remember those little statements, and then you understand a little bit more. And WrestleMania said he talked to a few guys up there about retiring and everything, and a couple of guys told him the same thing. Well, there's some truth into it because since I've moved here, there's been some deaths in my neighborhood of guys that I've known and liked, much younger than me, and they're gone. So, yeah, there's some truth to don't wait too long. Oh, wait a minute. I got comments here. I ain't paying no attention. I'm sorry. Sam says, hello, YouTube members. Hey, Sam, thanks for being a YouTube member. Those of you, before we get out of here, if you'd like to be a YouTube member, below any video, there's a join button. For 99 cents a month, you can become a YouTube member. I don't get all that. YouTube keeps a lot of that. Other than that, if you look at the top right-hand corner on this right here, the Patreon button there, you can go to my Patreon page. It's in the description box below. To get there, you can become a Patreon member for as little as $2 a month. And mostly the big advantage of that is all the videos I put on the Patreon page is commercial free. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but these commercials anymore, they're just driving me nuts. Let me talk to you a little bit of something that's been going on with me for several months now. I've had some people wanting me to put a commercial on my videos as a sponsor, blah, blah, blah. I have never done it. I've been turning that down for the longest time. I don't like doing those kinds of things because it's just, I don't know. I just feel bad about it. Even though it's extra income, But look, I watch a lot of channels too. I think I'm subscribed to something like 100 channels because I watch different things, probably more different than you. For example, did you know that John Belushi, is it John Belushi? The one is still alive. I know John Belushi died, didn't he? Drugs. Jim Belushi. Jim Belushi. He's got a YouTube channel now because he has a marijuana farm in Oregon that he is starting up. And so him and Dan Aykroyd have a YouTube channel showing how they're raising marijuana plants and selling the product. I'm subscribed to it. I find it interesting. Do I agree with it? I'm not saying I agree with it. I just find what he's doing interesting. So I'm subscribed to it. I got all kinds of channels like that. And anyway, I'll just get on with it. I'll get off that subject. So, well, let me just say, I've made up my mind that I'm going to do one or two things. I'm either not going to do a sponsorship period, which I've turned them all down up to this point, or if I do a sponsorship, then I'm going to not do any kind of commercials through YouTube. I'm going to cut them all out. And I can do that. I'm not going to do both. It's ridiculous. I have already unsubscribed from probably two major channels on the RV channel. You and Me of the RV is one. I mean, it's right up there. It's a big one because they do more sponsorships on that channel, on that show. And then when they're done with theirs, then goes back to the regular video, bingo, YouTube pops in with another commercial. I'm just sick of it. So I unsubscribed from them. I've unsubscribed from probably a good half a dozen major channels because of that. I'm just not interested in dealing with all that. So in order for me to accept a sponsorship, I'm going to say right now, they got to pay me more than YouTube pays me, or I'm not going to do it. Because I'm not going to do both sponsors. So if you want me to sponsor whatever it is you want, you better look and find out what YouTube's paying me, because you got to beat that for that month anyway, or I'm just not going to do it. And most of them are not going to pay it. And that's fine, because I don't really need it. Really don't even want it. It's just something more work I got to do to put that in there. Since I don't watch television, YouTube videos, I find it much more. I do too, Becky. I really do. I watch almost literally all YouTube anymore because I can pick what I want, type in what I want, see some of the things that I want to see I haven't seen a long time ago. And yeah, I don't watch TV much anymore at all. So anyway, if you want to sponsor my channel, the easiest way to do it is down below. There's my store. There's some stuff in there. I got to put more stuff in there. I know I haven't put a lot in there. Coffee cups, hats, and sweatshirts and things. And Patreon is a cheap way to do it. $2 a month, and you'll get commercial-free stuff on Patreon. Plus, I communicate with my Patreon members one-on-one that you never see here. Or YouTube members. It's 99 cents a month there. And they set that. That's the cheapest I can go. So for 99 cents a month, you'll get things there commercial-free. And you'll also get an invitation to go to our members' lunch whenever we have one. And last members' lunch we had, I had a couple people there for other people to meet that I thought they might be interested in talking to. One was Robin, I can never say her last name, Robin Caraviola, whatever, real estate lady. She was there to talk to whoever. And we also had Papa Pineapples there to talk to who whatever. And the one before that, we had Ira was there to talk to who about whatever. So we do a few little things like that, to help people get some more information. Because I don't know everything. God forbid, I don't know everything. Land Girl GB $9.99 super sticker. Thank you so much, Land Girl. Appreciate it so much. That'll go in the Tilly. Happy Easter. Hamish and I can't wait to get down there. Yeah, you've been coming down for a while. Just don't get in too big a hurry. My wife has a good saying for that. Don't wish your life away. I can't argue with that. Are we done? Jim Belushi has his own TV show as well. Yeah. Belushi about growing. Well, I get Jerry, the growing Belushi thing. I didn't know it was on TV. I get it on YouTube. Every time he puts up a new show, it pops up on my YouTube. I didn't realize he had that show on TV. Usually they don't do that. They can't have it on TV and YouTube. They fight back and forth. I don't know. That's where I get it. I get it on YouTube. I have YouTube Premium. It's $11 a month and worth watching videos commercial free. That money, Becky, that you're talking about goes to YouTube. You can be my personal YouTube member for 99 cents. That money goes to my channel, not YouTube. But YouTube keeps a percentage of that. I think it's like 70%. I get like, I get like 70%. They get like 30%. It's something like that. So I get very little, but every little bit helps. Jerry says, you're not going to get any younger. And when you retire, it will be the healthiest you will be for the rest of your life. Could be. And when I retired, I got to tell you truthfully, when I retired, I had some problems. I had to get a couple surgeries and things. Nothing you guys want to talk about, I'm sure. In some ways, actually, I feel better now than then. Kinda. I'm older, but I feel better. I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just fooling myself. Remember when I first got my glasses? I did everything not to get glasses. Did not want to get glasses, and I kept thinking I didn't need them because your eyes kind of go bad very slowly over years. They get a little bit worse, and you get used to it. And then one day I just decided I'm going to have to get glasses because I couldn't hardly pass the DOT physical on the eye test. I'm going to get glasses. So I went in to see about getting reading glasses more than anything. And I told him what I needed. And she said, oh, well, you're going to have to get bifocals because you got to get a little bit of a distance for that test. Okay. So I went through all this stuff. And a couple weeks later, they called up and said they were done. Come and get them. So I went up there to get them. And I'll never forget it. They put the glasses on me. And I remember looking around the room thinking, oh my God, I didn't realize how bad they was. I can see things clearly now. So yeah, you just don't know sometimes how slowly, but yet how fast things go. Another thing when you retire, the days and the months just fly by. Does one ever have enough money from KM? Gosh, I don't know. It depends on your lifestyle, and what you're comfortable with. Some people are here, they're not comfortable unless they eat out 3 times a day, every day, all the time. I'm not comfortable doing that. And I would say probably money-wise, not comfortable. And also, I don't mind eating out once in a while, but I don't want to do it every day because to me, it just kind of ruins the whole thing. Because, listen, if I could, let's talk about Starbucks coffee. I like the lattes they had at Starbucks, and that's what I got. And we only got them on the weekends, Saturday and maybe Sunday, and that was it. And then I'd work all week, and then next weekend we was out shopping, doing whatever, and on the way home, we'd stop by our favorite Starbucks and go in and sit down, talk to some people, and have our lattes. That's what we did. And Sue even mentioned way back then, she said, why don't we just get a latte machine and make our own? I said, I don't want to do that. And she said, why not? I said, if I can make these things 2 and 3 times a day, after a while, I'm just going to get sick of them. Then there'd be no reason to ever go to Starbucks again, right? Well, if you could do all this cooking that these restaurants do, then there's never a reason to go to a restaurant. And I think part of my life anyway is the reason to go to restaurants and to go to different coffee things. I don't want to do everything at home. So anyway, that's just the way I feel about it, but a lot of people don't feel that way. There are people here who never go to a restaurant. Everything is done at home. And I don't think it's because of money. I think it's mostly because, well, it may be, I don't know that. Maybe they're saving money. But a lot of them just stay at home because they just don't like eating out. They don't trust the food. I got a neighbor that's that way. His wife will go out a lot. He'll only go out if he has to, for a special event, a birthday dinner, But all in all, he admits it. You talk to him, he'll tell you, so I'm not going out. She'll cook me food here, and he just won't go out and eat. So, does anyone still have enough money? I don't know. My thing would be this: I think the more you have, the more you'll want to spend. The less you have, it's not that you're going to be poor; you're just more frugal with your dollars. I think. If I inherited $500,000 tomorrow, I've always been this way, and I'm not patting myself on the back at all. Don't get me wrong there. I just know that out of that, say, $500,000 that I inherited, I'd put $100,000 in the bank for me and Sue, backup money, so to speak, in case we need it, and then the rest of the money I'd probably give it away. I would. I've done it before. I give it to the kids to, I don't know, build onto their house or buy a new car, or maybe I give it to some of the grandkids and help them out. That's what I do. Yeah, I'm not saying that's been the smartest thing I've done in my life, but that's one of my downfalls is I give things away. I got things out in the garage right now I'm trying to give away. I'm having a hard time finding people to take it here. People here have too much money. Everything's got to be brand new or they don't want it. I got a dishwasher that we took out that works perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I want to give it to somebody that needs it. It's not new. Okay, are we done with the phone calls? I think we are. So I'm going to end this. Hit the like and subscribe button, Becky says. Yeah, hit that like button if nothing else. Thumbs up. Analytics looks at that a lot. How many thumbs up have you had in the last hour? How many thumbs up did you get after the first day? Has something to do with it. Okay, go down here at the bottom, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, and there's no doubt, Vic. I'm not taking none of it with me, am I? Oh, Susan and I have been talking about doing something different. When you get to a certain age, of the things that you wanted to do, you've probably already done most of them. And so you look at what can I do that's different that I can still do. No, I'm not jumping out of a plane with a parachute. That just never interested me at all. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. Somebody says something about going to Hawaii. I thought about that many, many years ago, but here lately, I ain't sure I want to go there. It looks like too much like a big touristy area. It's everybody there is a tourist, and I just don't like that. Peggy says, I just want to have enough money to not worry. Don't need a Mercedes or a Chevy is fine. Well, whether you drive a Mercedes or you drive a Chevy, they both get you to the same place. Whether you live in $1 million house or whether you live in $100,000 house, loneliness is the same thing. It's just some of them life things that other people just don't think about or don't worry about. I don't know. Grandpa Eric, hey, buddy, you didn't call. What's the matter with you? Yeah, he says he wants new experiences, not new gadgets. Yeah, I mean, I'm like that. I've got enough gadgets. I can't hardly figure this stuff out now. I'm too old for this. I mean, I'll get there. But sometimes getting there, it's a bumpy road. Like the time earlier today when we were doing this. All right, I'm getting out of here. We've been here over 2 hours. That's long enough. Thanks for coming, everybody. If you like doing these phone call shows, please let me know. I really need to know. I'm trying to figure things out because I'm going to make some major changes on my channel. I just ain't announced them yet because I'm not sure if I want to do all of them yet or just do them a little bit at a time. I don't know yet. I can't change one thing without having another thing. And this is a thing that I thought I could do. There's no editing here. It'd be easier for me. But I'm not going to do it if you're not going to join and help out or you're not going to watch it. I mean, it's just that simple. So let me know if you like it. If you like it, then it's something that I can think about. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming, everybody. See y'all later. Bye-bye.